Rule number 89. All imperative forms in indirect speech use a verb in the subjunctive mood. In the last rule, number 88, we looked at questions in indirect speech, both the standard indirect question construction and then questions when relayed in an extended indirect speech. Both use the subjunctive mood for their verb, unless the question is rhetorical. In this rule, we're going to look at commands relayed indirectly, both with the standard indirect command construction and then commands when used in an extended indirect speech. This will be a bit simpler, since in all circumstances, we will use the subjunctive. An indirect command is sometimes called a substantive clause of purpose or a jussive noun clause. Despite its name, we have in the main clause a verb of commanding or something similar, like warning, asking, persuading, followed by an ut clause with a verb in the subjunctive. Caesar persuadet Castico ut regnum occuparet. Caesar persuades Casticus to seize his kingdom, or seize power in his kingdom. Persuadet is our verb of commanding, and our command here is the ut clause with the imperfect subjunctive occuparet. Note that the most natural English translation treats the action in the indirect command as to seize. Captivis imperavit ut ad se reducerentur. He ordered the prisoners to be returned to him. This is also from Caesar, who loves commanding people. Imperavit is our verb of commanding, and the indirect command is illustrated with the ut clause. The subject of reducerentur, well, that's the object of imperavit, the prisoners, and our indirect command doesn't repeat this in the ut clause because it's easily understood in context. A prohibition, or a negative indirect command, uses a ne instead of an ut, kind of like a purpose clause, Rule 77. Hortatur eos ne animo deficiant. He urges them not to lose their courage. So how do you differentiate indirect commands, which use ut and ne, from purpose clauses, which also use ut and ne? The key here is the main verb that introduces the clause. If it's a verb with the sense of commanding, warning, asking, persuading, and so forth, then you should expect an indirect command is headed your way. So here's a list of verbs that commonly take indirect commands. You might want to pause this video and take note of these verbs, many of which are relatively common, like impero, moneo, oro, persuadeo, quaero, rogo, video, and volo. As always, this isn't an exhaustive list. And if we're operating in a lengthy paragraph of extended indirect speech with a bunch of statements and commands mixed in, we just put the verb in the subjunctive mood. So if our direct speech is te video intrantem villa meam abi discede ex conspectu, I see you entering my house, go away, leave from my sight. And so we can put this into Claudia's mouth again. Claudia dixit. Claudia said, se eo medere, that she saw him entering her house in trantem villam suam, and that's the standard indirect statement. But now we get to the commands abi and discede. These we put into the subjunctive, the imperfect subjunctive, since we're operating in historical sequence, by the way, rule number 71. Abiret and discederet ex conspectu. She said that he should go away and he should leave from her sight. So in short, rule number 89, all imperative forms in indirect speech use a verb in the subjunctive mood.